This week in comic books, we get Sandman #2 that came out. It's somewhat of a predictable story. I'm going to make some predictions on it. Possibly spoiler alert there. Over in the lands of Marvel, we get Superior Spider-Man #1, but really it's a #2. So it's debate and switch this week. And then Independence. Well, there's only one independent to talk about this week. So all that and a few other comic books, but first I have to try to sell you some coffee real quick. Hey, what's going on, folks? This is your boy Pocan Joe to talk to you about Coffee Brand Coffee. We serve people that are tired of gimmicky advertising and branded companies that want to lecture you. At Coffee Brand Coffee, all we want to do is serve you freshly roasted coffee wherever you're at, whenever you want it. Consider Coffee Brand Coffee. Check us out, check our reviews out, and use promo code POCANJOE or the link down in the description to save yourself some money. Give me the opportunity to get you a delicious cup of coffee. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? I'm back. Pocan Joe is back to talk about this week's comic books, and we're going to kick this right off with Sandman #2, and I'm going to tell you right now, this cover is beautiful. I dig this. I dig this cover. This is great. But more importantly, the story in here. So right up off the bat, a little possible spoiler warning. This is just me speculating on the book. In this one, we get introduced to the character Fog. Now, it's not his first appearance or cameo appearance or whatever we're calling that mess these days. I don't know. I really don't. It seems like every book's special for some reason. But in this, we meet our villain, and we understand our villain. He's the negative opposite of our man, Sandman. Our man, Sandman. That came off awkward, but we're just going to keep rolling. So basically, it's like this. Sandman has gas guns, and he puts people to night-night land, right? A nice slumber, if you will. And this one gets a little graphic about how they do it to people. It's great. And Fog shoots people with gas, and you can say they go to sleep forever. It's the deadly gas. So anyway, steals the recipe book, if you will, from Sandman for all these deadly gases that are out there. Things his dad kind of started, he's kind of homed and perfected as he was trying to just make night-night gas, right? But Fog wants the dead gas. So yeah, that happened in here. He's got his recipe, and apparently he's about to go out there and start shooting off his own canisters, looking very similar to Sandman. So, of course, the mistaken identity story will happen. But who is he? Who is he? I almost guarantee you have seen the character already playing in the shadows. If we think about the negative opposite of somebody, it's always highly advanced. So, as Sandman, or Dobbs, goes around kind of being a melancholy kind of playboy rich guy, there's a character that's been super grateful, super thankful, and super everything. Super nice guy. I think that's our villain. I'm almost positive. Seeing as he was friends with his father back in the day, yeah, I could see that happening. So not an overly complicated story, but still a great story. It's like, I don't know, a 1940s, I want to say Batman, but no, it's just cooler than that. I know that's sad to say that, even though there's a lot of similarities. But for the most part, I'm really enjoying this. It's a refreshing look, and I really like it. And I think Sandman's one of those characters that doesn't get enough credit, and I'm always happy to read this through. Next, let's jump right into Batman and Robin. I got this because, let's just be honest, the Robin mobile. He's got his own mobile, if you will. It's kind of a cool little doom buggy looking thing. And again, another kind of predictable story. We're doing this thing where we have a character called Hush in the DC universe. And we got the female version. Her name is Shush. Shush. This is a dumb name. And they're doing an animal hybrid thing where people are like half animals and half people. And, they got the instincts of the animal and blah, blah, blah. And White Rabbit is kind of caught into the middle of this. A lot of animal themes in this. Okay, fine. Great. But again, not the real story here. It's this kind of interesting take on Damian Wayne having to deal with the mundane life when he lives the extraordinary life, and how that can just be annoying to him. But to keep up appearances as, Bruce Wayne and his son, they have to have some sort of normacy over here. Otherwise, people start connecting things. He doesn't like the high school. There's bullies in it. And he can handle himself against a bully. But who wants to deal with a bully? Nobody wants to deal with a bully. So he just doesn't want to deal with that mess. It's childish to him. This is vindictive to kids that grow up in a single home or maybe even on their own at a very young age. They have to mature very quickly. And a lot of the normacies, right, that most kids go through kind of seem childish and outside of themselves. And that's what we're really dealing with here. And I think that's really good. I like that. So, yeah, will he go to school and just kind of just knuckle down, maybe make some friends? I don't know. But that's the part of the story that I'm probably most interested in. Moving on to Marvel. It's a short haul this week. Let's talk about Superior Spider-Man. I went ahead and got the Scotty Young cover, so my wife will leave me alone about picking her up a Scotty Young cover. It's cute. Not a huge Superior Spider-Man guy myself. I know a lot of you people out there are. Good on you. I could see the attraction to it. But I'm not calling this a first issue. I know they put it on the label. I should just shut up and follow like everybody else. But it's really a number 2. Because you remember about 2 weeks ago, we got Superior Spider-Man number 1, The Return. And basically, this picks up where that kind of left off, explaining this new character, Supernova, who's basically just lightning in a bottle. Literally. When Doc Ock had Spider-Man's body, make sure we get this right, he employed this person and screwed this person over. Now that she's been out of the trunk, or out of the bottle, if you will, she sees our Spider-Man now, who's mentoring Spider-Boy, and is like, oh, you screwed me over. I need to electrify you. And Spider-Man is like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but we need to figure this out. She's like, no, I'm not hearing that. Zap, zap, zap. Electricity. Run away, right? Let's figure this out. Pretty good story. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say, reading this comic book, you're going to know what's going on. You have to get that other number 1. So technically, this would be a number 2 as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. What do you think? Is it weird? Am I looking at this wrong? Maybe too much? Possibly. But I'm super thankful that I picked up the other issue. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really understood this one. Continuing on with Marvel, another number 2, Capwolf. What is cooler than Captain America as a werewolf in World War II, hanging out with the Howling Commandos, and them deciding if they need to shoot Captain America because he just turned into a werewolf right before their eyes when their spy contact shows up and tries to shoot him as well. Well, he's still part of the team. Nobody wants to see that happen, and they still have a mission to complete, right? Nothing stops the mission. Keep moving forward. So that means Captain America is on it, doggone it, and they're going to go. Now, the Germans, Russia. The Germans got it up in their head that they know that these cats are coming, Captain America's coming. They already found out, so they're like, you know what? We did the trials. Let's juice up all of our ratsies and get them all turning into werewolves as quickly as possible. So now you got a whole army of werewolves that these cats got to fight. Non-stop action through this thing. It's great, great, great read. I highly recommend it. It's not too late, right? If you haven't picked this up because you're like, oh, werewolf. I vaguely remember that from the 80s. If you're that person, I don't know what to tell you. This is a refreshing look. Definitely go check it out. Next, number 3, Daredevil. Number 3 coming out. So this is what I generally call an in-between the issue, right? More of an informational dump reel thing just to progress a story. It's not overly important to the story other than the fact that you learn that Bullseye's back in the mix. The truth is you could have guessed that. But for the most part, it's pretty good because it gives us more insight into the normacy of life and the things you got to deal with. In this case, the normacy would be running an orphanage with kids in it and CPS because some news media guy ran his mouth about stuff he doesn't know. Seems to happen a lot. Gets involved and is like, I'm not really overly concerned. It seems like everybody's doing fine here, but you got to look into this stuff. Annoyances. Normal annoyances. Somebody just doing their job and you got to deal with it. In the meantime, to kind of deal with the frustrations of life, right? What does he do? He dons on his Daredevil outfit and he beats up all the gang members. And this is where he finds out, of course, Bullseye's back into the mix, leading this game, doing a little rope-a-dope stuff out there. Okay, let's keep going. I got a feeling I'm going to end up dropping the series soon. I'm not a huge Daredevil fan to begin with, right? It's not really my thing, but I was really intrigued by this whole, let's walk down the religious route here and see what happens there, making Matt Murdock a father inside the church, and, you know, the convictions and the guilt, right, of being the Daredevil. Yeah, that seemed interesting to me, and I kind of hope we hit it, but not like superficial, lightly. Like, let's not get crazy with it, start calling everybody sinners. I don't think that's our place here. But I do want to see this happen more. All right, moving on. For Independence, we got Lotus Land. So this is weird. This is a weird story. When you first read it, you don't realize in the first few pages that it's actually taking place in some far-off future where technology is kind of heavily relied upon, right? Most of the time you see this in things like Blade Runner, right? It has this Blade Runner vibe to it. Definitely. But apparently we have a cop, and he's got magical woo-woo powers. Whenever he touches somebody, he gets like glimpse of their mind, if you will, right? Visions, if you will. So they do that, and they got a guy who's out there doing bad things, like shooting people, murder, you know, yada, yada, yada. He's held up in a house someplace. Our guy goes to check it out, and come to find out, somebody kills him before he can fully read his mind, right? Conspiracy theory, cover-up, if you will. The cops do it, right? Whole 9 yards. Interesting. But we also find out that his son is unique, and the mother is not in the picture, but he knows where she is. And he's unique, meaning that he's a cross of technology in some way. I don't want to fully go out and say cyborg robot thingy yet, right? Because it didn't really explain it very well. It just gave us a hint by showing us the circuitry, lighty technology thing on his chest. It was like, right? I don't know if I'm going to follow this down. If my comic book shop has it, I'm not going to overtly just ask for it. But it was an enjoyable read. All right, folks, next. You knew it was coming out. I gave you the preview of it, the first few pages. What's going on? G.I. Joe, #1. I went with the black and white cover for it. I just wanted a little nostalgia for it. Also, a reprint of G.I. Joe #1 came out. This is good, and this picks up where it left off, because it's not actually #1. It's actually 301? Yeah, 301. 301. What you get in here is right up off the bat, escaping Cobra Island. Serpentor, the leader of Cobra, is set off some sort of bomb gas that's turning everybody into zombies, but they're able to keep their intellect, meaning they know who they are, they can still function, but their bodies are rotting and they have a taste for flesh. Human flesh, apparently. I love the artwork in this. It's that scratchy, gritty type of artwork, but there are parts in it that kind of come off kind of comical in some areas, and I think it fits very well. We see some of our Joes, and they do the typical thing. I'll tell you right now, you show me the most diverse comic book in your repertoire, right? And I will always throw out a G.I. Joe, right? You got women, you got people of color, you got white people, and somehow or another they're all able to get along, still do cool shit, and tell a great story. And with Larry Hama back on it, I'm telling you, I just can't tell you. And a nice little editorial in the back from him, nice little note, just to the fans and to everybody out there about how much he appreciates you. That was really nice too. And we get, of course, our classic, what G.I. Joe's known for, the data cards. Kind of done in blocks and a little different in this case, right? Like, you're not getting a whole background on them, just a quick, hey, this person was in the comic book, this is who they are, right? Real quick type of thing. But I got it, right? It's kind of that homage to the old data cards. And that was pretty cool too. I can't say enough about this book. Like, it means something to me. G.I. Joe has always been something for me as a kid. And I look fondly on it to this day. And being able to read the comic books again, missing a lot of the IDW stuff and Devil's Due stuff, and being able to pick it back up here and know exactly what's going on and be able to shoot through it. I'm super happy to get this book. So, of course, let's get our fireworks ready. Pick of the week. All right, guys. Short week. 7 books. That's all I was able to pick up. That's all I actually wanted. So what's going on? So I'm thinking about changing up the promo for the coffee brand coffee thing, and I kind of want to include some people. So, and we'll give something away. So comment down below if you have an idea or you want to collab on something, have a little fun with it, something a little comical. Definitely let me know, and we'll do whatever I pick. We'll just give you something. I'll give you something. I give things. It's not a problem. So definitely you can comment down below. You can hit me up on IG if you have any ideas. Something fun, simple, clean, just to put out there for a while. And then we can always take it down and do this again if that's something that you're interested in. And don't forget, this Thursday, November the 16th, myself and John's Comics with Kids, we're going to be debating Ultron versus that guy with the metal mask. He knows woo-woo magic. Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom. We're going to be debating who's the best villain. We don't want to invite you by. So that's going to be over at Mr. Comics 89's channel. Live debate. You get the vote. You pick the winner. There'll be a straw poll for you. I'll link all this stuff down below. So definitely check that out. Come on by and vote for who's the best. Or just vote for your favorite. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. But we should have some fun. So yeah, I'll see you all next week. If I don't see you sooner. I don't know. I might buy some comic books this weekend. Bye.